Deep blue underneath the ocean will control the ocean wide. From down, down underneath the sea.
I'm Rear Admiral Thomas M. Dykers, retired. Ask any seaman for a description of the vessel in which he served, and the word fighting will usually appear in the answer, particularly the submariner. For if ever a vessel could be described as a valuable offensive weapon of warfare, the submarine is that vessel. It is hardly surprising, therefore, that few people think of a sub as a life-saving vessel. That, however, is exactly what many of them turned out to be. The 12th patrol of the USS Gato proved it beyond all doubt. 1945, the desperate struggle for Okinawa was at its height. Hundreds of kamikazes hurled themselves at Admiral Struan's 5th Fleet in an all-out suicidal attempt at victory. Plunged into the battle in retaliation, attacking the remnants of the Japanese fleet. The Bungo Sweeto, entrance to the inland sea, became a prime example of a hot spot. This was the patrol area for which the USS Gato headed on her 12th patrol. Her job was lifeguard duty, the rescuing of any American airman forced to hit the silt. The Gato's captain was Lieutenant Commander Richard Holden of Rutland, Vermont. He was an experienced submariner in his first command. The executive officer was Lieutenant Lloyd B. Young of Eureka, California, on his first patrol in the Gato.
So far, so good. Maybe we're beginning to get a break.
Wouldn't bet more than a quarter on it. Night planes have forced us down for 7 out of the past 9 nights. I don't see why they should stop now.
Wishful thinking, Captain. I just hope they stay away long enough for us to get a battery charge.
You know, I've never been so tired of diving in my life.
What is it, Captain?
Nothing. You know, even the clouds are starting to look like Bettys to me.
Still another newcomer was Seaman Second Class Vincent Lewin.
With you.
Little Lacy-Deucey, Haley?
Got you a stock answer anytime you don't want to talk, kid?
Talk. What good is it going to do?
You know, man's first patrol on a boat, he ain't entitled to as much griping as you've been doing.
Patrol? 12 days out and 7 of them under the water, that's patrol? Join the Navy and see the world. When you get back, maybe.
You saw what the skipper for wanting to make sure you get back? Well, an area like this full of Bettys, what else can he do but stay down? Kid, we're out here to save Zoomies, not to get saved ourselves.
Yeah, that's another thing. Lifeguard duty. Now there's a bundle of action.
You bucking for hero, kid?
No, it ain't that. Someday I'm gonna get married, have kids.
Kind of Russian thing to bet, ain't you?
The point is, they're bound to get to that daddy, what did you do during the war bit? I'll be very big saying, fishing fellas out of the water, Junior.
Kind of a one-sided way of thinking, ain't it? I mean, how'd you feel if you was one of them guys in the water, huh?
If you're going to spend your life up here, I thought you might want this for company, Captain.
Thank you, Lloyd. You know, I was...
Plane, bearing 035, Captain. Clear the bridge. Clear the bridge.
Dive! Dive! That battery charge will have to wait again. That's secure, sir. Take her deep.
What were you
you saying about things getting dull?
That's the point, Haley. I want to do the shooting, not the ducking.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not that young.
She might be one of ours.
Sure. You bet on long shots at the track, too? You were saying?
What I should have been saying is, I'm glad their bomb rack isn't any bigger.
Mm-hmm. Depth 110 feet. Take us straight on down to 200. Sit it out for a while. We may have some friends in the area.
Captain Holden pursued the only course open to him. He took the Gato deep, held her there for almost an hour. Then he headed up towards the surface again.
Stand by to surface. All clear. Surface. Maybe this time we'll get that battery charge, huh?
There was no way of knowing. The problems had only just begun.
How's the battery?
Coming up, but still on the starting rate. We were pretty low, Captain.
Yeah, I know. Now, if our friends will just leave us alone for about an hour.
Contact. Torpedo bearing 280.
Take it down, emergency.
Clear the bridge!
Right,
Clear the
full
bridge!
right.
Dive!
Read it.
Bearing steady on the port beam. Bearing steady. Bearing steady.
Thank God.
But where'd it come from? Funny. No subcontact, no screws. Just suddenly that fish out of nowhere.
What do you make out of it, Captain?
I don't know. But I think it's time we got out of this area.
Level off 100 feet.
Make your course 090.
090.
Give ourselves a little thinking room.
An hour later, the Gato once more surfaced to complete a badly needed battery charge. And once more, the unknown pursuer made his deadly presence known.
A new county heard from.
Yeah, or maybe the same county twice, huh? You know, I got an idea of what it might be. Maybe they're midget subs, and we just happen to lay our base course along their scouting line.
Well, they don't like it. That's for sure.
Keep her at 100 feet. Set new course of 110.
New course, 110.
You know, Lloyd, I got a hunch that we just might rescue more than our share of zoomies.
Any particular reason, Captain?
Well, I don't know. It just seems to me that when you miss two of them that close, well, there must be a special purpose.
On 22 April, Gato reached a lifeguard station, 7 miles off Kyushu in Van Diemen Strait. Though no more of the mysterious torpedoes had appeared, Gato was still being forced down by Japanese aircraft almost daily. High overhead now, but too far away to be visible, ranged the 3 aircraft, serving as Gato's air cover. The time was used to get it necessary topside repairs.
You men finish on that vent?
Just now, Mr. Young. all freed up and working fine.
Very well.
Dixie 2, this is Cloudhopper 4. Go ahead, over.
Go ahead, Cloudhopper. Over.
The chicken is down in your area, but that's all we've got. We can't see him. Have no further information on him. Over.
Well, it's a big ocean, Cloudhopper.
We'll get back to you the minute we get anything more. Out.
Sure not much to go on, huh?
Now, the A-tool's in the area. There's not much chance. Radio. Contact the A-tool. Ask them if they got any information on that chicken.
Aye, aye, sir.
Poor devils, they could be almost anywhere.
Yeah. Like you said, it's a big ocean.
What do you think, Haley?
About whether we find the chicken? I don't know. I'll tell you one thing that's for sure. First time I've seen you worry about anything but yourself. Interesting.
And little information as to his location. The #1 nightmare of a submarine on lifeguard duty. The Gato is having her taste of it.
A-tool hasn't heard anything.
Not a word, Captain?
I just spoke to Cloudhopper. Nothing there either. It'll be dark pretty soon. That's not going to make it any easier.
Not much point in our trying to search on our own, is there?
Now, we might be working in the wrong direction without knowing it. There's no alternative. We stay here. Wait for amplifying data from the plane.
It'll be a long night, Captain. Waiting.
Even longer out there.
It was a long night, and being once again forced down by the usual nightly visitor did nothing to shorten it.
Nothing from the air boys yet on any circuit, Captain.
Well, what's keeping them? They ought to know something by now.
Dixie 2, this is Cloudhopper 4. Over.
Go ahead, Cloudhopper 4. Over.
Information on that chicken. He's down in Charlie 2 area, approximately 56 miles southeast of you. He's all yours. Over.
Thanks, Cloudhopper. We're on the way. Out. That puts him up to Sakihana. All ahead flank, right full rudder, come to course 200.
All engines answer ahead flank. Coming right to new course 200.
Man the bridge guns, Lloyd, all of them. This is one time we're not going to be forced down.
At 1300, with Cloudhopper playing the dual role of air cover as well as long-range guide, the Gato headed straight for the position of the downed chicken. At 1430, Gato had reached scene 0. It was a very happy moment for a sergeant of the United States Army Air Corps. Shortly afterwards, another sergeant and a lieutenant were also pulled from the water.
Nice work, C2. You've got them all. Over.
Sure, Cloudhopper? Just 3 of them?
There won't be any more, Captain. I just talked to the first pilot.
Well, that's it, Cloudhopper. Thanks for the fine conning job. Out.
He says only 4 men had time to jump. 1 chute didn't open. The plane exploded on impact. The rest of the crew never had a chance.
Just 3, huh?
Captain, without the Gato, there wouldn't have been any.
With the 3 survivors safely below decks, Captain Holden put the Gato on course for her next lifeguard station.
Hey, you want me to cut that up for you?
Oh, I can manage, thanks.
Sure. Hey, you know, I think the chow on this pipe is getting better. Well, I got a watch coming up. Hey, checkers later, huh?
Sure. Nice kid, huh? Yeah. He is now. I never saw such a change in a guy. He used to be the griper of the world. Right till we fished you guys out of the water. Sure hard to buy that. He hangs around all the time. Can't do enough for us. You saw. Yeah. That's what makes it so hard to figure. Say, what does he talk to you guys about, Frank? Well, now that you mention it, he don't. He listens. Best listener you ever saw. That's the biggest miracle of all.
At 0735, 29 April, Gato arrived on a new lifeguard station. She didn't have long to wait.
Dixie 2, this is Blue Sky 1-1, over.
Blue Sky 1-1, this is Dixie 2. Go ahead, over.
Chicken is down in your area. Position approximately 3111 north, 12226 east.
Roger, Blue Sky. Thanks. Out.
Be sure you keep your blue eyes wide open, baby. These woods are loaded with bandits. Out.
All ahead blank. New course, 210. You're ready to man all the guns on short notice. The way our luck's been running, we might need them.
Putting all 4 main engines on the line, Captain Holden raced towards the given position of the downed chicken, again determined not to be forced down. The enemy was equally determined.
Play off the port beam!
That's all we needed. Lookouts below! Stand by on the guns!
Both the Gato and its air cover saw the oncoming plane at the same time, and both opened fire at the same moment.
Commence firing!
Though the 20 and 40 millimeter tracers were meeting him nicely, the pilot continued to bore in.
Left, full rudder! Take cover!
Submarine fighting a plane. It ain't exactly done.
Sometimes it is. You want to get where you're going.
Looks like he's heading up for another try. Wing over, he's going to straight.
Clear the deck! He's all yours, Blue Sky. Clear the bridge! Dive! Dive!
Leaving his air cover to handle the plane, Captain Holden pulled the plug. There was still that downed chicken to find, and he intended to get the job done. But it was not to be that simple. A few hours later, the Gato had reached the reported area, only to find lonely open sea. With no one able to give him further information on the downed plane, Captain Holden knew there was only one course left open to him. For hours, he labeled over a detailed search plan, taking into account all of the factors involved: current, wind, state of the sea, and the time element. Included were factors he could only guess at, such as the estimated drift of the life rafts he hunted. And still he remained dissatisfied, unconvinced.
Oh, I'm sorry, Captain. I didn't mean to intrude.
That's all right, Lloyd. Listen, you, believe in hunches? I mean, well, one that's so strong it's almost a vision? Look, for hours I've been over these estimates, and I can't get them to match up with something that I... hearing, feeling, I don't know. Look, tell the OOD to bring her around to course 335. We'll see them at 0815.
I think we will, Captain. Prayers came a long time before navigation.
At exactly 8:12, the first of the survivors was sighted. Before one bell of the forenoon watch, Gato had pulled from the water 6 survivors. All had been picked up without changing course 1 degree.
How are they?
Pretty good shape for being out there so long. Oh, except for waste gunner. Well, from your home state, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah?
Combat fatigue case. His buddy says he hit the water without a life raft. Kept hitting himself over the head with a shoe, trying to put himself out. Must have been pretty rough.
Yeah, well, we'll give him a couple of days to pull out of it, and if he doesn't, we'll think of something.
Permission to speak to the captain, Mr. Young?
Well, the captain's pretty busy, Lewin.
I think you'll see me, sir. It's about the waist gunner. Well, he ain't been getting better, and I think I got an idea.
Seaman Lloyd's plan was simple. Conveniently near the disturbed waist gunner, he pretended to have trouble with a machine gun. The trick worked.
You used to be a real fast player.
You used to be the griper of the world. But a man's got a right to change, hasn't he, Vince?
You sure? You gonna move?
You kill me, kid. I'm fishing and you know it, but you still won't give up. Come on, you're a much nicer guy now. What's to be ashamed of? Look, I wouldn't be human if I didn't want to know why. It's got something to do with flying, hasn't it? It's got to be the way you hang around them zoomies. Come on, Vince, don't hold out on old Haley. Vince?
Well, I want a Naval Air first. Always been crazy for planes. Trouble is, they don't like me. I get airsick, never could break it. I don't laugh, huh? Oh, no. Not old Haley.
Nothing wrong, I hope.
Not a thing, sir.
I mean, you usually bring bad news along with this.
Just a plain gift, Captain. It ought to be champagne.
Well, you'd have to deal Lewin in. It was his idea.
Yeah, but you okayed it. It still should be champagne.
Well, every time I look at those kids we fished out of the water, Lloyd, it is.
I'll be back in a moment with our special guest. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the real captain of the Gato, Captain Richard Holden. Dick, thank you for taking the time to be here in person.
My pleasure, Tommy.
I'd like to ask you something I'm sure you've discussed many times. That hunch that led you straight to those survivors. How do you account for it?
I can't, Tommy. It didn't check with any logical calculation of where they should be, but it was too strong. It was too clear to be denied. I had to follow it.
There are 6 men alive today who are awfully glad you did.
7. No one was gladder than I was.
How many men in all did the Gato fish out on that patrol, Dick?
10, Tommy, and they must have been very impressed by the Gato. You see, we left all 10 in Saipan, but when we got back to Pearl Harbor, there were all 10 of them standing on the dock waiting to meet us. They stayed with us at the Royal Hawaiian, and I never heard an airplane mentioned once. Their interest seemed to be only in submarines.
Under the circumstances, that's not too hard to understand, Dick. You know, there's one real practical lesson I got from this story, and that's not to bet against you when you're playing a hunch. Thanks, Dick, for coming.
I wouldn't have missed it for anything, Tommy.
Be with us again when we bring you another thrilling story of the Silent Service.
Take her down and up in line through the deep blue underneath the ocean. We'll control the ocean wide from down underneath the sea. Satan's force will pass the word in the future's yet to be. That will say, as long as there's mariner underneath the sea. So rig for dive and take the down, down, go down, down, underneath the ocean. Fearless men will find me down in the deep blue